You wake up every day, but it feels like your mind is still trapped in yesterday. You think the same thoughts, react the same way, and nothing changes. You want more, but every time you try to break free, your own mind pulls you back. What if I told you that the way you think is the reason you're stuck? What if the key to unlocking everything you've been chasing lies in how you think? It's not just about working harder, trying more, or grinding endlessly. The real change starts with your mind, because once you learn to think correctly, everything else falls into place. Today we're going to change the way you think forever. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll see just how much power you have to transform your life, starting right now. You've had those moments, haven't you? Moments when everything seems impossible, when the weight of the world sits heavy on your shoulders and you start questioning whether it's all worth it. You've been there, stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, of doubting yourself, of believing that things will never change. And in those moments, it feels like the world is closing in on you. But here's the harsh truth. Your thoughts are the very thing holding you back. They are the lens through which you view the world, and they shape everything you experience. Your emotions, your actions, your decisions, all of it stems from the thoughts you allow to take up space in your mind. If you change your thoughts, you change your life. Your mind is powerful. It's like a magnet. It attracts the energy you put out. If you think fear, self-doubt, and negativity, that's exactly what you'll get more of. If you wake up every morning dreading the day, focusing on what's wrong, you're setting yourself up for a series of moments that reinforce that mindset. The world outside of you reflects what's going on inside of you. If you want a different reality, you must first change your thoughts. I know it's not easy. I know it feels overwhelming sometimes, especially when the weight of your past, your failures, or your insecurities feels like it's defining you. But you are not your thoughts. You are not the sum of your fears or doubts. You are the creator of your reality. And that reality begins with the thoughts you choose to nurture. Positive thinking doesn't mean pretending that everything is perfect. It doesn't mean ignoring the pain, the struggles, or the challenges. It means choosing to focus on what you can control. It means deciding that despite the difficulties, you have the power to shape your actions and reactions. When you begin to think with intention, with clarity, and with purpose, you open the door to possibilities you never saw before. Your mind becomes a tool for creation, not a cage of limitations. The foundation of everything you want to achieve lies in your mind. When you change the way you think, you shift your entire perspective. When you choose to believe that you are capable, that you have everything you need to succeed, you start to act from a place of strength. You start to see solutions, not problems. You start to see opportunities, not obstacles. So it's time to change the conversation in your head. It's time to stop the cycle of negativity and doubt. You have the power to think differently, to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from fear to courage. And the moment you do, everything else follows. Your emotions, your actions, your reality, they all begin to change, because how you think determines who you become. Do you ever catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough? Maybe you've been conditioned to believe that success isn't for you, or that you'll never be able to break free from the chains of your past. Every time you try to move forward, it feels like there's an invisible force holding you back. Those beliefs are the chains that keep you stuck. But here's the truth. Those beliefs are not facts. They are stories you've been telling yourself, often for years, and they have shaped how you see yourself and the world around you. You've carried these beliefs with you, often without realizing how they've been controlling you. The belief that you're not enough, the belief that you're destined to fail, the belief that you'll never change. And with each of these beliefs, you've created a reality, but it's not the reality you deserve. It's a reality built on fear, limitation, and self-doubt. But what if you could break free from that? What if you could start to challenge those beliefs, to dismantle them piece by piece, and build a new foundation based on what you're truly capable of? The process of breaking free from limiting beliefs isn't easy, but it's powerful. It starts with awareness, realizing that the beliefs you hold about yourself are not truths. They are simply patterns of thought that you've allowed to dictate your actions. Once you become aware of those beliefs, you can start to question them. You can start to ask yourself, are these beliefs serving me? Are they helping me move forward? And the answer, I promise you, is no. Those beliefs are holding you back, keeping you small, keeping you stuck in a life that doesn't reflect your potential. It's time to rewrite the script. Breaking free from these beliefs means choosing to see yourself differently. It means choosing to believe that you are worthy of success, that you are capable of change, and that you are not defined by your past mistakes or limitations. It means stepping into your power and acknowledging that you are the one who decides what your life becomes. But breaking free takes time. It takes practice. It takes courage. Every day you have to challenge the beliefs that try to keep you in your comfort zone. Every day you have to choose to believe that something bigger, something greater, is within your reach. The moment you start believing that you are capable of more, you free yourself. The moment you stop listening to the voice that tells you you can't, you open up a new world of possibilities. You begin to create a reality where your potential is limitless. So break free. Release the chains of self-doubt and fear. Embrace the truth that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Your beliefs shape your reality, and today you have the power to choose new ones. Ones that lift you up, that empower you, that propel you forward into the life you've always dreamed of. You wake up to the noise of the world. Your phone is buzzing. The world's problems are already demanding your attention, and you haven't even had a moment to breathe. Your day starts, not by choice, but by reaction. Before you even have the chance to settle into your own mind, you're already responding to everything around you. Your emotions dictate your actions, and suddenly, you find yourself swept up in a storm of circumstances, doing what life demands instead of what you choose. And you've been there before, haven't you? Reacting without thinking, anger, frustration, fear. These emotions take hold, and before you know it, your words and actions are no longer yours. They're the result of everything you've been holding inside. It's an autopilot way of living. When things don't go your way, you lash out. When you're overwhelmed, you shut down. It feels like the weight of your feelings is controlling you, leaving you feeling powerless. But what if I told you that reaction is a trap, and response is your freedom? Reacting is the path of least resistance. It's instinctual. It's emotional. It's easy to let your feelings control you. But when you choose to respond instead of react, you take back control. You shift from being at the mercy of your emotions to becoming the person who chooses how to act, how to feel, and how to face the challenges that come your way. The difference between reaction and response is not just one of semantics, it's a shift in mindset. Reacting is impulsive, emotional, and driven by the circumstances outside of you. Responding is purposeful, intentional, and rooted in who you are. It's about pausing before you act. It's about creating a gap between stimulus and response, where you decide how you want to show up, how you want to respond. In those moments when life feels overwhelming, when anger or frustration rises, take a breath. That breath is the moment of power. In that space, you can choose to step away from the knee-jerk reaction that leaves you feeling empty and instead choose to act with intention. When you choose to respond, you take control of your emotions. You don't let them control you. You become the master of your actions instead of being led by them. It's not about suppressing your feelings, it's about acknowledging them, feeling them, and then choosing how to respond to them. You can feel anger without lashing out. You can feel fear without letting it paralyze you. The difference is in the choice you make. Right in that moment, when you choose to respond, you don't give your emotions the power to decide your actions. You decide them. That's when transformation happens. That's when you take your life back. Because when you respond, you act with clarity. You act with purpose. You act from a place of strength. And every time you do this, it gets easier. You build a new way of being, one where you're not controlled by your circumstances. You control them. You wake up in the morning and the first voice you hear is your own. But it's not the voice you want to hear. It's the voice of doubt, of criticism, of judgment. It says things like, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never make it." It tells you all the things you've done wrong, and it feeds you the stories of your past failures. That voice is loud, it's constant, and it's the one that shapes everything about you. But here's the question. Is it the voice you want to listen to? What you say to yourself matters more than you think. Your self-talk is louder than any outside influence. It defines how you feel about yourself, how you act, and ultimately how you show up in the world. When you constantly tell yourself that you're not enough, that you're not capable, you start to believe it. You start to live from that place of limitation, and it becomes your reality. But here's the truth. You are the one in control of that voice. You have the power to change the script. The first step is realizing that the stories you tell yourself are just that. Stories. They are not the truth. They are not who you are. They are simply reflections of the beliefs you've held onto, the beliefs you've allowed to shape your identity. What if instead of telling yourself you're not good enough, you told yourself I am worthy? What if you stopped feeding yourself the stories of your failures and started telling yourself the story of your growth, your potential, your future? What if you shifted from I can't to I will? The shift in your inner dialogue is the shift in your outer reality. When you start speaking to yourself with kindness, with respect, with encouragement, you change the way you show up for yourself. You start to believe that you can do anything. You start to see possibilities instead of limitations. Your self-talk can either build you up or tear you down. The choice is yours. You can choose to be your biggest supporter, your biggest cheerleader. Stop listening to the voice that tells you you're not enough, and start listening to the voice that says you are worthy of everything you desire. This isn't about faking confidence, it's about telling yourself the truth that you are capable, you are worthy, and you are powerful. And the more you repeat this, the more you'll believe it. And when you believe it, you live it. So start today, change the conversation you're having with yourself. Change the voice you hear in your head. When you take control of your self-talk, you take control of your life. You felt it, haven't you? The constant pull of distractions. Every day you're pulled in 100 different directions. Your phone buzzes. The world demands your attention. People need you. Your responsibilities pile up. And suddenly the things that really matter, the dreams, the goals, the vision you once had, fade into the background. They don't feel urgent. They don't feel important. Not compared to everything else. Right? You know what that's like. Waking up with big ambitions, thinking this is the day you'll get everything in order. But then the chaos starts. You scroll through your phone, respond to an email, check your social media, and before you know it, hours have slipped by. The things that mattered to you get buried beneath the noise, and you're left wondering how you let another day go by without moving any closer to what you truly want. But here's the thing. Where you place your focus determines where your life is going, and if you keep giving your energy to every distraction, you'll end up somewhere you never intended to be. The problem isn't that life is chaotic. The problem is that you're allowing yourself to be lost in that chaos. Focus. It's everything. When you're focused, you're unstoppable. But when you're scattered, when your attention is split, you're like a leaf in the wind, blown around by every gust, every whim, every change, and you end up feeling drained, lost, and frustrated, wondering why you can't seem to make progress. Do you want to know the secret to breaking free from this cycle? It's about making a choice. You have to choose where you put your attention. You have to make an active decision to cut through the noise and focus on what matters most to you. Focus is power. When you focus, you're not just moving toward your goals, you're shaping your reality. You see, it's easy to get distracted by the surface level things, the tasks that seem urgent but don't actually move the needle. You respond to emails, check the news, scroll through Instagram, all in the name of staying busy. But that's not focus. Focus is about aligning your mind, your actions, and your intentions with what you truly want to achieve. Focus is about dedicating yourself to the big picture, even when the small things try to steal your attention. Focus requires you to say no to distractions and yes to what truly matters. And the best part, when you master focus, you stop fighting the current. You stop wasting your energy on things that don't serve you. You stop getting swept away in the noise of the world. Instead, you begin to act with purpose. You start to move in the direction you've always dreamed of, with clarity and intent. Every small step you take is a step that leads you closer to your goals. Because you're no longer scattered, you're aligned. But let me be clear, mastering focus is not easy. It takes practice, it takes discipline, it takes intention. Every day, you'll have to choose to ignore the distractions. Every day, you'll have to choose to turn your attention back to what matters. Even when the world is screaming for you to look elsewhere. And that's where the real growth happens. In that practice, in that consistency. Every time you make the choice to focus, you strengthen your mind and your ability to align with your purpose. When you focus, you create momentum. You build a life that isn't pulled in a million different directions. You begin to craft a life where you can wake up every morning and know exactly what you're working toward. Your actions are no longer random or aimless. They're intentional, they're purposeful, they're aligned with your vision. And as you continue to master focus, you'll find that the noise of the world becomes quieter, less distracting, and less powerful. So, I want you to ask yourself, Where is your focus right now? Are you pouring your energy into the things that will move you forward? Or are you allowing distractions to dictate your life? The life you want is right there, within your reach. But you have to choose to focus on it. You have to choose to give it your energy. Every day, every moment, you have the power to shift your focus. And when you do, you create the life you've always dreamed of. Now is the time to make that shift. Stop letting distractions decide your destiny. Start focusing on what truly matters and watch how everything else starts to fall into place. Your focus is the key to your transformation. Let it lead you. Let it guide you. And see how far you can go. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when you've given everything, your heart, your time, your energy, and yet it still wasn't enough. The failure stings, cuts deep. You wonder what went wrong, why you weren't good enough, why things didn't turn out the way you hoped. And as you stand there staring at what feels like a dead end, you wonder if you'll ever recover, if you'll ever get back up. It's easy to look at failure and see it as the end. When you fail, everything feels like it's crumbling around you. You start questioning yourself, doubting your ability, your worth. But what if I told you that failure is not the end? What if I told you that the greatest lessons you'll ever learn come from the moments when you fall down, when everything seems lost? Because here's the truth, failure is not something that defines you, it's an experience. And the moment you change how you see failure is the moment you change how you move through life. Failure isn't a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. It's a necessary part of the process, an opportunity for you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you've ever been. I know it's painful. I know it feels like you've hit rock bottom, and you don't have the strength to climb back up. But what if I told you that every single failure you face is a lesson waiting to be learned? Each setback, each moment of disappointment is trying to teach you something. It's showing you where you can improve, where you need to grow, where your potential is waiting to be unlocked. When you reframe failure, you shift your mindset. You stop seeing it as something to avoid or fear, and start seeing it as something that will make you better. Failure teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to get back up, how to try again, and how to do it better next time. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, your flaws, and your blind spots, and in doing so, it makes you stronger. But here's the thing, you can't just stay stuck in the pain of failure. You can't allow it to paralyze you. You have to embrace it, learn from it, and move forward. Failure only has the power to hold you back if you let it. If you use it as an excuse to quit, if you let it define you as a failure, it will keep you small. But if you see it as a lesson, as an opportunity to grow, you'll find yourself moving through life with more confidence, more strength, and more clarity. You've probably been told before that failure is part of the journey. But here's the part that's often missing. Failure isn't something you endure, it's something you embrace. You don't just endure the pain of failure, you use it to fuel your determination, to fuel your growth, to fuel the next chapter of your life. Every successful person you admire has faced failure. They've stumbled, they've fallen, but they didn't let that moment define them. They used it to push them forward. They didn't walk away, they got up, dusted themselves off, and kept going. And that's what you have to do too. You have to get up, you have to look at failure, not as a sign that you're not good enough, but as proof that you're strong enough to keep moving forward, no matter the setback. So, let failure teach you, let it refine you, let it make you better. You are not defined by your failures, you are defined by how you rise from them. You are defined by your ability to take what life throws at you and turn it into fuel for your growth. And that is how you succeed. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of your greatest lessons, the beginning of your greatest strength, the beginning of your transformation. When you embrace failure, you unlock the power to become the person you were always meant to be. And in that moment, you realize that you are unstoppable. You wake up and look in the mirror. What do you see? The reflection of someone capable, someone confident, or someone who doubts their every move. It's easy to feel small when you don't see the person you want to be staring back at you. It's easy to look at the mirror and question if you're good enough, smart enough, or strong enough. But here's something you might not realize. Confidence is not a gift. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. You didn't wake up one day just knowing that you were capable of achieving your goals. You didn't wake up with an unshakable belief in yourself just by chance. Confidence is built from the inside out. It's not about changing who you are, it's about changing how you think. You see, the way you think about yourself shapes how you show up in the world. Your mind is the foundation of your confidence. If you constantly tell yourself you're not enough, that you don't have what it takes, that you'll never be successful, your actions will follow those thoughts. Your mindset creates your reality. Your belief in yourself becomes the lens through which you see every challenge, every opportunity, and every step forward. But what if, instead of doubting yourself, you started choosing thoughts that empowered you? What if you started believing that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you are enough? What if you could shift the way you see yourself? Because here's the secret, when you change how you think about yourself, the world starts to change too. Your confidence grows, your actions become more purposeful, and your reality shifts accordingly. But it's not easy, is it? Shifting your mindset requires effort, it requires intention. Every day you have to fight the old stories in your head, the stories that tell you that you can't, that you're not good enough, that you're destined to fail. Those old beliefs are powerful and they're deeply ingrained, but they're not the truth. They're just stories you've been telling yourself for far too long. Changing your mindset starts with challenging those stories. You have to ask yourself, are these beliefs serving me? Are they helping me move forward? The answer is usually no. So you begin to rewrite those stories. You replace the doubts with affirmations. You replace the fear with faith in yourself. You decide that your worth isn't determined by past failures or mistakes. Your worth is determined by the power you choose to believe in yourself today. And here's the key, your mindset shapes your body. When you start thinking differently, your entire being changes. Your posture improves. You carry yourself with more assurance. You speak with more conviction. You act with purpose. Your body responds to your thoughts, and when your body believes in your strength, it amplifies that belief and shows up stronger, more confident, and more aligned with your goals. Building confidence isn't about pretending to be something you're not. It's about embracing who you truly are, stepping into your own power, and believing that you are worthy of everything you desire. When you believe that you deserve success, you create space for it. When you believe that you are capable, you begin to take action that reflects that belief. It's a cycle. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your reality, and your reality shapes your belief in yourself. It's a feedback loop of growth and strength. The more you feed your mind with empowering thoughts, the more you start to see yourself as the person you want to be. The more you believe in your ability to succeed, the more confidence you build with every step you take. So, the next time you look in the mirror, don't just see the person you've been, see the person you're becoming. See the person you're becoming. See the person who is strong, capable, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Because that person is already inside you, you just have to choose to believe in them. Confidence is not a destination, it's a journey. And every day you have the power to choose how you think, how you act, and who you become. So start today, shift your thoughts, and watch how everything else starts to align. Your confidence is waiting for you, but it's up to you to build it. And once you do, nothing will be able to stand in your way. You wake up, and the noise begins. It's the chatter in your head, the endless stream of thoughts that flood in before you even have a chance to gather yourself. Maybe it's the weight of yesterday's mistakes. Maybe it's the fear of what's to come. Or maybe it's just that constant feeling of not being enough, not doing enough. Your thoughts start their relentless cycle, and before you know it, you're already overwhelmed, already behind, already questioning your ability to keep going. What if I told you that everything you're feeling, everything that's overwhelming you, started with one thought that spiraled into another, then another, until your whole reality was shaped by these unchecked unconscious patterns? And what if the key to unlocking all of this, the key to breaking free from the prison of your mind, is awareness? Mindful awareness is the first step to change. It's the ability to see your thoughts without getting swept up in them, to observe your mind the way you would watch a storm from a distance, knowing it will pass but not letting it consume you. We don't often realize how much control our thoughts have over us. They shape how we feel, how we act, and how we see the world. The problem is that we don't always choose our thoughts, they seem to choose us. The moment we wake up, we're bombarded by the things we fear, the doubts we carry, the failures we've never let go of, and we let them define us, let them dictate our day. But what if instead of letting your thoughts control you, you began to observe them? What if you became aware of the moment a limiting belief popped into your mind, or when fear started to cloud your judgment? Awareness doesn't mean you have to change everything immediately. It means you gain control over your response. Instead of reacting to your thoughts, you can begin to separate yourself from them. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. And in that space, in that moment of awareness, you gain the power to change. When you can see the pattern, you can interrupt it. When you can catch yourself in the act of thinking a negative thought, you can choose to reframe it. Instead of "I'm not good enough," you can replace it with "I am capable of growth." Instead of "this will never work," you can replace it with "I'm going to learn from this and keep moving forward." The power is in the pause, the space between stimulus and response, that moment when you can recognize the thought for what it is, just a thought, and then, in that moment, you can choose whether to give it power or to let it go. This is where true transformation begins. It begins with the awareness that you don't have to be ruled by your mind. You don't have to let your thoughts define you. You are the one who decides which thoughts you allow to shape your reality. The more you practice this, the more you will notice how much control you actually have over your life. Every time you become aware of your thoughts, you take one step closer to freedom. Every time you catch yourself in a spiral and choose to change the narrative, you break the chain of limitation. And every time you separate yourself from the negative patterns that once held you back, you start to build a new empowering mindset. But this isn't an easy process. It's not about pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's not about ignoring the difficulties you face. It's about being aware of your thoughts without judgment. Recognizing that even in the toughest moments, your mind doesn't have to control your actions. You have the power to choose what you focus on, what you believe, and how you respond. So let me ask you, how often do you find yourself lost in the noise of your own mind? How often do you let your thoughts dictate your day, your mood, your actions? What if you could change that? What if you could start today by simply being aware of your thoughts? Because awareness is the beginning. It's the first step toward healing, growth, and transformation. Once you become aware of the stories your mind is telling you, you can rewrite them. Once you become aware of the limiting beliefs that hold you back, you can break free from them. And when you choose to take control of your thoughts, you choose to take control of your life. Awareness is freedom. And when you step into that awareness, you unlock the power to create the life you've always dreamed of. Every day you wake up and it feels like the same fight. The battle inside your head, the doubts, the criticisms, the constant voice telling you you're not enough. You've been there, haven't you? Caught in that cycle of self-sabotage where every time you try to move forward, something inside you holds you back. The fear creeps in. The anxiety tightens its grip, and no matter how hard you try to push past it, it feels like you're stuck in place. You start to wonder, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why does it feel like the biggest obstacle between you and the life you want is you? It's frustrating, isn't it? It's almost as if you're your own worst enemy. The moments when you should take a leap, try something new, or push yourself toward your goals, that's when the self-doubt kicks in. The second you decide to step forward, the voice in your head gets louder saying, "Who do you think you are? You're not ready for this. You'll fail." But here's the painful truth. Self-sabotage isn't a coincidence. It's not something you're doomed to experience forever. It's the result of misaligned thinking, of negative beliefs you've allowed to control you for far too long. The same patterns of thought that hold you back are the ones you've built over time, brick by brick. And the only thing standing between you and your potential is the way you think. What if I told you that you don't have to keep sabotaging your own success? What if I told you that the very thoughts that are keeping you stuck are the ones you have the power to change? What if you could shift your mindset from fear, limitation, and self-doubt to empowerment, possibility, and action? It all starts in your mind. The voice that tells you no is not your truth, it's your fear speaking. It's that inner critic that's been with you for years, telling you you're not worthy, that you don't have the strength to push through, that you're going to fail. But that voice is not the real you. You are not your self-doubt, you are not your fears, you are not the voice in your head telling you to play it safe. You are the one who chooses what to believe, who chooses what to listen to, and who chooses to step forward despite the doubts. Your inner critic is loud, but your inner power is louder. The shift begins when you choose to challenge that voice. You don't have to accept the narrative of limitation anymore. You don't have to keep playing small. Start by confronting your inner critic, acknowledge its voice, but then choose to replace it with a new one. One that supports you, that believes in your potential, that encourages you to take risks and grow. That voice of support, of empowerment is yours to cultivate. Here's the key. You can break the cycle. The cycle of self-sabotage ends the moment you stop giving that inner critic the power it craves. It ends when you replace fear with belief. It ends when you decide to step into the arena, even when every fiber of your being is telling you to hold back. Because in that moment, you are no longer letting fear dictate your path. You're deciding to walk it anyway. And with each step you'll find that the grip of self-doubt starts to loosen. With each decision to show up for yourself, to believe in your worth, and to take action despite the fear, your confidence begins to grow. You begin to see yourself not as someone who is doomed to fail, but as someone capable of overcoming any challenge. You realize that the real obstacle was never the world around you. It was the way you viewed yourself. So, ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped listening to that inner critic? What would happen if you started replacing those negative beliefs with thoughts of possibility, success, and growth? The moment you do, you'll begin to break the patterns that have kept you stuck. You'll start to create a new reality, one where you're not just surviving, but thriving. Your mind is your greatest tool for transformation. It's not the enemy, it's the ally that will carry you to places you never thought possible. And the only thing standing in your way now is the decision to stop believing the lies your mind has been telling you. You are capable, you are worthy, you are enough. The moment you step into that truth, you will stop sabotaging your potential, you will stop letting fear control your actions, and you will start living the life you've always been meant to live, a life built on empowerment, growth, and success. You have the power to choose, and the time to choose is now. You've been told that success starts within, but you may not fully grasp what that means. It's not just about believing in yourself, on the surface. It's not just about achieving small wins. The way you think, the energy you carry, creates a ripple that impacts everything around you. Right now, you might be focused on how your thoughts affect your life, but what if I told you they were affecting much more than just your personal journey? What if I told you that the way you think shapes every single relationship, every decision, every opportunity you encounter? Have you ever felt stuck, like you're spinning in place no matter how hard you try? Maybe you've been giving everything to your goals, but nothing seems to change. Maybe your efforts aren't leading to the breakthroughs you desire, or your relationships feel strained despite your best intentions. The reason might be simpler than you think. It's your mindset. What's happening inside of you is impacting everything outside of you. Your thoughts are not just thoughts, they are energy, and energy doesn't stop at your own skin. It radiates outward, like ripples on a pond, touching everything it comes in contact with. When you change how you think, when you shift from negative, limiting beliefs to empowering, abundant thinking, you create a shift that goes far beyond yourself. It begins to transform your environment, your relationships, your career, and your life. Think about it. When you wake up and carry a mindset of fear, doubt, and scarcity, that energy spreads to everyone around you. You might not even realize it, but the way you think about yourself, your day, your world, it's felt by the people you interact with. It shows in your body language, your words, your actions. If you feel like the world is against you, people can sense that energy. If you feel unworthy, others may treat you as such. If you're scared of failure, you subconsciously push away the success that's waiting for you. But when you change the way you think, when you shift from a mindset of limitation to one of possibility and empowerment, it's like you've unlocked a new level of your life. You stop walking through life with a heavy heart. You walk through it with a lightness, with purpose, with confidence. And that confidence, that positive energy, begins to radiate outward. People begin to notice the difference. You attract new opportunities, healthier relationships, and a deeper connection with the world around you. Your mindset doesn't just shape how you see the world, it shapes how the world sees you. When you believe in your worth, when you believe that you have something valuable to offer, you begin to show up differently. Your presence becomes magnetic. You walk into rooms with your head held high, knowing that you belong there. You speak with conviction, your words filled with power, because you've reprogrammed your inner dialogue to reflect your true potential. And the ripple doesn't stop there. When you start thinking correctly, when you embrace a mindset of growth, success, and possibility, you stop holding yourself back. You stop second-guessing your choices. You take action without fear of judgment or failure. And with every action you take, that ripple grows bigger. It touches your career, your personal growth, and your relationships in ways you didn't even expect. This shift doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by simply hoping for change. It happens by consciously choosing to change your thoughts. It happens when you catch yourself in the act of self-doubt and replace it with empowering, positive beliefs. It happens when you stop waiting for external validation and start giving yourself the approval you've been seeking. The more you embrace this shift, the more you begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You start to speak with clarity, make decisions with confidence, and attract the people and opportunities that align with your new energy. Your life becomes a reflection of the thoughts you cultivate. It's not magic, it's mindset. And when you change how you think, you change everything. You change the way you see yourself, and in doing so, you change the way the world sees you. You begin to see yourself as worthy of the life you want. And because of that, the world begins to mirror that belief back to you. So, ask yourself, what kind of energy are you putting out today? What kind of mindset are you carrying into the world? If you shift your thoughts, your reality will shift too. The ripple effect is real, and it starts with you. You have the power to change the course of your life, and all it takes is the decision to change the way you think.